Hey everyone, I've got a short core focused video for you guys, requested by the ladies. So it's nice and simple, something that you can probably do throughout the week with the use of also things like props of blanket and pillows. I've suggested that throughout the video. Just be mindful of your body and listen to it and keep working with your breath. That's the main idea. Enjoy. Today we'll begin on the ground, sitting comfortably, and maybe pop a cushion under you for comfort. So just sitting on the edge of the pillow so your hips can relax a little bit, especially if they're a little bit tight. And we'll start with a few deep breaths, and as we do, we'll think about what we're working on today, which is our core. And our core is made up of a few different things. So we've got some deep layers of muscles at the front here, your diaphragm, which constantly moves as you breathe, and also your muscles at the back at the spinal level, which kind of engage and support the structure of the spine, but also your pelvic floor. Yep, we are talking about the pelvic floor, which is important if you've had kids, but also just as a female, knowing that all of these things together are what we are working on when we're working on our core. But enough of the little physiology lesson. And as we breathe today, we'll start thinking about how all of these things are working together. So as we take our breath in, let everything just be soft, so no tensing or holding on to any muscles. And then as we exhale, visualize like a balloon kind of deflating a little bit. So the bottom edge is where the pelvic floor is, the front edge is where our front deep core abdominal muscles are, and the diaphragm is sort of, moving kind of upwards as you're exhaling to let the air out of your lungs. Now, as we're starting to think about these muscles and all of these areas working together, it can be really easy to just hold your breath because you're not sure what you're doing. But essentially what we want to do is relax the shoulder blades down. And on the breath in, relax everything. So tummy, pelvic floor. And then on the exhale, slightly draw up through the pelvic floor and draw the belly button in towards the spine. Not a 100% contraction. But just about 20 to 30%, so you're feeling that light lifting and drawing in. A few more deep breaths in. Relax everything through the tummy and pelvic floor. And out. Imagine the belly button drawing in, pelvic floor lifting up. And together we'll float the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your right arm, left arm goes over, shoulders away from the ears. And inhale back to center. Exhale, let it out. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, drop your left arm down. Right arm continues slightly over, nice side body stretch. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release. From here, we'll sort of continue with the same breath movements, but the arms are going to go circling around. So we'll bring it out to the front and around past our shoulder, opening up through the chest and back down. Breath in and back out. From here, you might have one leg crossed in front. So whichever it is, try to square it off with the front of the mat or whatever area you're sitting in. And then leave the hips where they are. So try and keep long through the tailbone. And walk the arms out slightly, shoulders away from the ears. You might drop the head. Feel a little bit of a stretch through your front hip, or the hip of the leg that's in front. And we'll walk it back and change legs. Sit up nice and tall and walk it out. Try and keep grounding the hips into your seat. And walk the palms back. Now we will go into our hands and knees just for a little while, but if you do have sensitive wrists or sensitive knees, you've got the option of grabbing a blanket or two blankets or just something soft. So if you've got sensitive wrists, you can prop your wrists at your hands at the edge of your blanket like this. If you've got sensitive knees, bring that to the back, and you've got the option of having your knees up on something soft, or you can have both. And we'll start up with setting up a nice straight spine. So nice long line from your tip of your tailbone to the top of your crown. Make sure the head and neck isn't dropping, and the shoulder blades are nicely active, so pushing through the space between the shoulder blades. And we'll start with a breath in, lift the tailbone up and out. Curl the tailbone under the belly button towards the spine and drop the chin towards the chest. Breath in and out. Keep moving, one more breath in and out. Okay, from here we'll give our wrists a bit of a break. So we'll thread the right arm through and then extend the left arm out. So again, try and keep the shoulders away from the ears even in this position. You might be more comfortable placing a pillow here for your head if you're finding that the angle of the neck is a little bit uncomfortable. Option to extend that left leg out to get a little bit more of a stretch through the shoulder, or to leave it there, whatever's most comfortable. And as we keep breathing here, continue to visualize that idea of a balloon inflating and deflating with each breath. And walk the left arm in, reset, and then we'll thread the left arm through. The right arm can stay where it is or extend out. And keep breathing into that left shoulder. So as you breathe in, you should feel a nice stretch just on the inside edge of that left shoulder blade. An option to take that right leg out as well for a bit more of an active stretch through that upper back and upper body. And you can leave that where it is. From there, we'll bring that right arm back, push the body weight up, and we'll bring our elbows towards the ground. So elbows come directly under where the shoulders are. If they're a little bit tight, you might take that out slightly wider. From here, we're going to go into either a half plank or a full plank position. So full plank is where we're onto our toes, and we'll create a nice long line from the heel to the top of the crown. Half plank is the option for walking the knees further back. It might be easier to actually remove if you've got any blankets under you. So elbows coming down. Then walk the knees back with the option of going to full plank. And we'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees or walk the knees forward. And take the knees out wide, we'll go into extended child's pose. So arms out in front. Have the option of bringing the pillow up as well to stretch through the shoulders a little bit more. Or you can pop the pillow under the forehead. Nice deep breaths. Keep lengthening through the spine. Imagine the crown's going in one direction, so the top, the spine, and the tailbone is moving in the other direction. So nice space through the vertebral column. Wonderful. Walk the hands back nice and slow. You might start to move your props out of the way. And we'll come on to side lying position. So pop the elbow directly under the shoulder. Again, if you've got any sort of sensitivity here, just make sure firstly that your shoulder is in line with your elbow. You can also pop a blanket underneath if you need a little bit more cushioning. And then we'll bend down the knees. So our knees are sort of in line with the front of our body. Can be slightly in front if that's a little bit more comfortable. And our feet can be sort of pointing back, so parallel with that side edge of that mat if you're on a mat. And from here we're going to do a little bit of lifts. So this is working through the lateral side of the body, the sides of the body and core. Can be up here or it can be on the ground to help with a bit of support and balance. So we'll go for 5 lifts, lifting our hips 1 and drop down. 2. And keep breathing as you do it. 3. 4. And 5. Nice work. We'll move on to the other side. So you have the option of flipping over, but I'll move my blanket so you can see. Setting up the same way as we did on the other side. So knees slightly forward, bend so that they're parallel or perpendicular to your body. Perpendicular rather than parallel. And shoulders nicely away from the ears, making sure that your elbow isn't far out, especially if you've got any sensitive shoulders. From here, we'll start to lift up. So open through the chest and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. From here, we'll come back onto our all fours position. Again, resetting your blanket. And we'll work through a little bit of isolation through the hips. So we'll start to extend through the right leg. Heel kicking nicely back, so really flexing through that foot. And start to lift heel up to parallel. Now as you do, keep the belly button connected to spine and then rotate as you exhale around and out. Breath in. Lift up starts the exhale. Continue that around. As you're doing this, think about the rest of your body staying completely still, but still breathing as you're doing it. So you're not holding your breath, but using that to move you around. Breath in and out. And we'll go on to the other side. Breath in, heel kicks nicely out, toes turned down. And then your breath out starts to lift the heel, keep the toes turned down and rotate around. Nice work. And we'll tuck the toes under just for a quick moment and push back and sit up nice and tall. Just a little bit of yoga and breath work for the feet, which can be already starting to sort of cramp up or feel uncomfortable in this position, but it can be really good to do, especially if you are used to wearing shoes all day and you don't get much movement in the feet. Keep breathing through it. And if that pain level is increasing, just be a little bit considerate about what you might be saying to yourself. Ouch, this hurts, or whatever it might be. And try to calm that sort of thinking. And nice and slowly come off, and we'll point the toes and sit back. Wonderful. Nice little break, and for our last movement for the core, we'll set up a little bit of a reverse tabletop position. So we don't have to go all the way up, but basically again, for sensitive wrists or even just to be comfortable in this position, pop a blanket behind you and pop your wrists just at the edge of the blanket so you're not having to flex too hard through the wrists. From here, we're going to draw the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Sit up nice and tall, belly button to spine. So here you're thinking nice straight column all the way from the shoulders down towards the hips. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, lift your hips up. Keep that column nice and steady. And inhale, bring it back down. Don't have to come to a full flat position through the center. It might even just be here. But this is basically working through the glutes and the back chain a little bit more. So push through the heels to lift the body up. And back down. Keep moving with the breath. So again, come back to that idea of the core breath work. So your breath in, everything relaxes. And the breath out, pelvic floor drawing up, belly button to spine. And here the glutes are working as well. And last one. Nice work. And we'll stretch through the shoulders after that one. So interlace the fingers, push the arms through, shoulders away from the ears, and stretch back. So really create that space between the shoulder blades. Imagine them coming apart. Arms float around the other way, interlace behind the body, and open through the chest. And just to end, we'll go through a bit of articulation through the feet because we can all do with a little bit of that for Physie. So we'll flex the feet nice and hard, so heels really pushing out to the front. Crunch the toes, open, crunch the toes, open, squeeze, open, squeeze and hold, and relax. Now through the full ankle, so point the whole toes and feel that point coming from your quads and flex it back. Again, if you're starting to get uncomfortable in this position, pop a blanket under your hips or a pillow. And a bit of rotation. So really flex it and flex the feet and open the toes as you come back and point as you come down. And we'll go the other way. So flex, open, point as you come down. And we're done.